Well, folks, we have Dinesh D'Souza here today to respond to an interview between Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes. I'm the other Barack, and I am in the holiest place in the world. That place is called Israel. And if you are brand new to this channel, you have landed at the boots-on-the-ground reality of the Middle East and what mainstream media never shows you. So before we get into this video, don't go anywhere. I'd love for you to just press that subscribe button and that bell icon so that you are notified whenever we put out new content here. Let's get into it.
I see this morning that Tucker Carlson has a very friendly, I would say almost devotional interview with none other than Mr. Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is a guy with whom I have some experience myself, having debated him now, I guess a few months ago it was. And my debate with Nick came about because he was going around posing as the alpha male. No one will debate me. Ben Shapiro's scared of me. Charlie Kirk's scared of me. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not scared of you. So let's debate the Iran strike. Let's debate Israel, radical Islam. And we had a pretty lively and spirited debate. Substantively, I have to say Nick was kind of out of his depth, but I think he knew that. He's nevertheless a glib, facile type of guy, and impressive in his own way for a 20-something. And I even told him that in the discussion. Now, after this debate, I got a very agitated series of texts from Charlie Kirk, of all people, basically saying, why did you do this? And I'm like, well, because someone needed to show him up. Someone needed to actually expose the fact that he is out of his depth. He doesn't know and has no historical sense of the topics he's talking about. And so I decided to play that role. And Charlie's like, well, you're magnifying this guy. You're giving him a platform. And then I'm quoting Charlie, he's vermin, meaning he's bad news. And of course, I recognize that Nick had said things that were deeply anti-Semitic, pro-Hitler. Some of it said half in jest, but again, half in jest. That means it's half not in jest. And so here we see this interview with Tucker and Nick, and it is actually of a very different caliber. Tucker is not challenging Nick. Tucker is doing his usual, well, I guess Debbie's going to jump at this, but he's doing his usual kind of fluffer routine, which is he has these guests, and what he's doing is he's just massaging them and building them up. And giving them a platform and kind of like heartily going along. This is what Tucker did with the nun with the mustache. He did it with so many others, and he's doing it with Nick. And so I felt obliged. I haven't done this, of course, in months. I had no intention of doing it. I'm like, hey, look, you know, Tucker, it seems to me that you are trying to become Mr. Turning Point, right? You're the main speaker at the upcoming conference, and you are trying to sort of, in some ways, maybe even take over Turning Point. I don't know. But the Turning Point people need to know that Charlie was not on board with this kind of fluffer routine. In fact, Charlie believed that I shouldn't even debate Nick. It's not even enough to refute him, challenge him, expose him. Charlie's point is this guy is poison. He's bad news. And so I released those texts with Charlie Kirk, and it's creating a big flurry on X right now. Tons of people are weighing in on all sides. But I think mainly my reason for doing this was simply to show the Turning Point is at a turning point. They're just going to have to decide, are they going to let Tucker steal Turning Point away from Charlie? I think that's the larger issue of what is really going on here. And the Nick Fuentes thing is simply one episode that really reflects that Charlie really was not on board with any of this. Now that Charlie is gone, Tucker is sort of is pulling in a completely new direction, while pretending that this is in full continuity with what Charlie was doing. And these texts prove that that is absolutely not the case.
I want to ask you an honest question. If Israel-Palestine was not trending in the news and was not the front cover of magazines and newspapers and mainstream media sites across the world for more than 24 months at this point, on an almost consistent basis, do you really think that Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes find themselves caring this much about Israel across the ocean, Zionists across the ocean, Zionists in the West? Do you really think that you would find them having this conversation? Do you really think that Candace Owens would spend You're talking about not her time, it's her career. This woman's career. She is literally etching in fucking permanent ink what her life has been like and devoted to. All because of what? Israel, Palestine? What about Sudan? What about Syria? What about Lebanon? Shit, people like seem to have forgotten about Ukraine. What about Yemen? What about Libya? What about all the other places in the world that have conflict existing internally? And it's not because you don't have access to it from your social media feed. Well, maybe it actually is, but it's because you're choosing which conflict that you want to focus on. Since when are we choosing the conflict? Well, we have our bias, right? We have I'm an Israeli, I'm a Jew, I live here. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't care about what's happening in Nigeria. One of my best friends is Nigerian. I love Nigerian people. I haven't gone out the way to learn what I need to learn, which I hold myself accountable for, to the point where I feel like it's comfortable for me to then get on these large podcast platforms and talk about what's going on in Nigeria, what's going on in Haiti, what's going on in Jamaica. By the way, there's a terrible, terrible hurricane at the moment going through Jamaica, so pray for them. But now is an opportunity. Shit, I don't need to know so much, but it doesn't matter because it's popular and I'll fucking talk about it. Why don't we just talk about Jewish people in Israel? It's a phenomenon that we have never seen in the world only repeat itself when it comes to one group of people, that people are the Jews. It is fascinating when you look at this phenomenon, people, because people are so quick to hop on the train. No Jews, no news. It's going to happen again too. Watch, like history always repeats itself. Tucker, Nick, Candace, they don't really care. If they really cared, you wouldn't have found them only starting to care this much since what, 2023, 2024? Man, it's crazy, bro. Because you can look at the people who have really cared because they've been talking about it even when it wasn't trending. That is the difference, folks. That is the real difference. That's how you identify the real from the fraud. Thank you so much for all your support. Links below in the description to help support this channel. Here's a note from me. Here are 4 ways you can help us grow if you believe in our mission. On Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal, you can directly contribute to helping this message grow and reach more people across the world. If you want to join the inner circle, join our Patreon with different tiers, and of course, our Discord community, which is free with people from all across the world. The links to every single one are in the description. And last but not least, to the other Barak community, I love you. Ani ohev otchem. I'll see you guys next time.